What is going on, YouTube? And today we are going to discuss the 6 things that are going to keep you in the psychological state of someone that is 30% body fat, someone that struggles immensely to get in shape, and someone that will never achieve their physique goals. We're going to discuss why that is, how you can prevent them, and what you need to do if you want to accomplish your fitness goals in 2026. So we're going to get into it. I'm going to keep this video pretty brief, but I'm also going to give you guys a lot of value. So I would recommend taking notes and just trying to understand exactly where you might struggle with some of these habits. The first one is going to be emotional eating, which that was my biggest bottleneck for such a long period of time. I remember if something was stressing me out, something was worrying me, something was making me uncomfortable, I would turn to food. I would get stressed out, go to food. I would get angry, go to food. I would be lonely, sad, I would want an escape from my reality because I wasn't happy, go to food. And you have to understand that if you do emotional eat, your fitness goals are going to be very unpredictable, because if you're locked in for a month because you're super emotional and you're super emotionally available, you're not really sad, you're not really upset, then you're obviously okay. But if someone dies, if something negative happens, if your bank account gets hacked into, and you start emotional eating, you can outdo a month of progress in 3 days if you're not careful. So that's the first thing. The second thing is going to be your identity. I see so many people going on these crash diets, trying to lose tons of fat super aggressively, and they just don't know how to sustainably lose fat and keep it off. That's why people every year got to get lean for the summer, or cut down, or gotta do this keto diet to lose weight. Because if you're doing something temporarily, it shouldn't be a habit. It should be forever. Fitness and nutrition is something that should be built into your lifestyle, because if I gave you the dream physique you've always wanted, you would be traumatized. And you might be like, well, Tim, why would I be traumatized? I'd be happy. You'd be happy for the 5 minutes that you maintain it. But then what happens when you're in this dream body? You have the same habits as the old you, and your identity's the old you, and you just keep eating all this garbage, and that's a problem because you didn't build the habits to sustain the physique. So that's why identity is so crucial. You have to become a new version of yourself and destroy that old version of yourself if you really want to change. Number 3 is going to be trauma. I don't really touch on this one a whole lot. I think that it's kind of similar to emotional eating in the sense of, I don't want to get lean because I have this struggle with food. I'm a foodie. I had a client one time tell me, yeah, man, I think the reason I binge is because I just love food too much. But it's not. It's because he was lonely. He was bored. He didn't like his current reality. So food is an easy source of dopamine to forget the pain. But what happens after you finish eating? You just have even more pain because you just ate a bunch of garbage. You feel even more horrible about yourself. And then the next week, 2 weeks, month, you're binging, you're restricting because you feel so guilty, and then you're doing it again. Trauma to past experiences, past trainers, past diets you've tried to do. I promise you, watching this video, there is a sustainable way, and you will achieve the goal if you do what you want it bad enough. Number 4 is going to be habits. I talk about this all the time. Habits can be a mixture of things. For me, I do 7 days, 30 minutes, 7 days a week, 30 minutes of incline walking or 30 minutes of Stairmaster every day, one of the two. Zone 2 cardio, 30 minutes a day. I do minimum 10 to 15. I usually get 20,000 steps a day minimum. I work out 5 days a week. I eat clean. I don't eat out. I drink diet sodas. You have to have habits, because these habits are going to form your identity, and your identity is who you become. There's a saying, you are what your body goes where the mind flows. Okay? Because thoughts become, the way you think become your thoughts, and your thoughts become your feelings, and the way you feel become your actions, and your actions determine your lifestyle, and your lifestyle determines your identity. So it kind of goes back and ties into it. Number 5, again, I'm going to keep this brief because this is really just shortcutting everything you need to know. And this is literally all you need to have dialed in if you want to get to your dream physique is your environment. If you're living at home, if you're living with family and friends, if you're surrounded by people, you are the sum of your 5 closest peers. You hang out with 5 druggies, you're probably going to be a druggie. You hang out with 5 business owners, you might be a business owner. You hang out with 5 fitness guys, you're probably going to get in better shape, right? If your environment is, you have junk food in the house, you have alcohol in the fridge if you're trying to quit being an alcoholic, if you have a bunch of friends doing drugs, if you're trying to quit drugs, why would you expect to be successful? It does not make sense. Your environment has to support your goals. And if your goals require you to cut back certain people, from seeing certain people, or cut out certain people from your life, if you want it bad enough, you will make it happen. Health is wealth at the end of the day. Health is literally the cornerstone of everything. It literally goes faith, fitness, family, and friends. And a lot of the time people go, wow, that's kind of selfish. But how is it selfish to take care of the body, the temple that God gave me, the one that allows me to live, breathe, walk, see? It's such a blessing to even be sitting here with no pain. You have to take that and be grateful and have gratitude. You can't be anxious and grateful at the same time. So practice gratitude when you have anxiety. And lastly, my personal biggest thing I always tell people, dopamine. You have to be a master of your dopamine. If you're getting dopamine from scrolling on your phone, watching movies, sports, you're cheering on another guy that doesn't even know you exist. If you're getting your dopamine from impulse purchasing, eating a bunch of garbage food, if you're going to holidays, vacations, thinking about how much food you're going to eat, how much fun you're going to have sitting around the hotel, you have bad dopamine, my friend. You need to get dopamine from getting your daily steps in, from working and training your body, from reading books and gaining knowledge, from doing things that are hard, challenging yourself, challenging your willpower, challenging your own ability, and questioning whether you're able to do something every day. Because if you're not constantly getting better, how can you want to grow? Testosterone is the thing that makes hard work feel good. If you have low testosterone and you have bad dopamine and you feel like garbage all the time, you're getting your first thing you're doing is you're going on your phone. 30 minutes within the day, you shouldn't even touch your phone. Maybe even an hour. I do 30 minutes. You shouldn't even do an hour. Before you go to bed, blue light glasses on. You got to shift these habits, this identity, this lifestyle, this environment to all match your goal. And it goes back to dopamine. You're getting dopamine from watching the corn. You're getting dopamine from thinking and idolizing food. You're getting the dopamine from easy, pleasurable acts. Food is for purpose, not for pleasure. And if you're using food as fuel, why wouldn't you want to put the best fuel in your body? If I had a Ferrari, I wouldn't put the grade A average 87 fuel. I'd put the premium in it because that's what it deserves. And your body deserves that premium fuel. Get your dopamine from things that are hard. Doing 100 push-ups a day, going for a walk and hitting your step goal, seeing your family and friends, going and knowing that when you leave your job, even if it's not your all-be-all dream job, your 9 to 5, whatever it is, find something that you can pursue from 5 to 9. Find a way to build a side hustle, a business. Find a way that every day you're going to work knowing that you're working for the glory of God, the man above, and you can say, I could sign my name under this work that I did it because I put my all into it. And that's where your dopamine needs to come from. So as I talk about emotional eating, identity, trauma, habits, environment, dopamine, these are all things that are going to allow you to get to the next level. And you can't get to the next level by doing what you're currently doing. And when you get to that level, you won't be able to get to the next level to do what you are currently doing then. Imagine if you have a 9 to 5 and then you start a business. Not the same actions to get to a 9 to 5 to a business. Same inputs. No, it's not. It's different inputs and you get different outputs. When you have a business, scaling a business from $1,000 a month to $5,000 a month, the inputs have to be different, so the outputs are different. 5 to 50K, 50K to 100K, 100K to $1 million a month. Those are all different inputs that get different outputs. Same thing with the gym. If you think you're just going to be able to get 10,000 steps, eat whatever you want, and train here and there, that's not how it works. These things are the pillars and the foundation you need to build. It talks about in Matthew 7, 24 through 27, it talks about building your habits, building your foundation like a wise man does on solid rock, not on clay or dirt, expecting it to be solid. You need to build your life on these foundations, knowing that in Proverbs, it talks about it. Proverbs 16, verse 9. Tells us, commit your works to the Lord and he will establish your plans. Remember, you have to be devoted to these actions. You can't be emotional eating. You cannot be falling into the old version of yourself. You need to kill that old version of yourself that is okay with doing the BS. That's okay with being halfway in, halfway out. The grass is not always greener. You have to realize that the habits, the environment, the dopamine, all this stuff matters. When you're deprived of food and you're in a calorie deficit, you think eating this pizza would just solve it would give you world peace, but then you eat the pizza and you wish you never did. It's because you're making bad decisions. You're making decisions in a state of deprivation. You're making everything all about pleasure when it should be for a purpose. Wake up and follow these guidelines and watch your life change. If you guys still feel like it's going to be a struggle, don't hesitate to check the link in the description, to reach out and ask me any questions. Apply for my one-on-one coaching. I promise if you work with me one-on-one, it's not a matter of how or but, you will get to that goal. You will get that goal post. It's just a matter of time. Like I said, we're here every week. I'm here every day. It's Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Hit me up. DM me the word START for coaching or apply in the link in the description. And God bless. You've got this. You have to want it. But I promise you, if you want it and you're willing to kill that old version of yourself, you will see the success and you will achieve it.